everyone, and welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Renee Murdoch, and we are in the Soup Bowl. I am so happy that you are liking, that you are sharing, that you are following, that you're subscribing, and most importantly, that we are going on this journey together called life, because we were never meant to do it alone. And I'm so happy to be going on this journey with you as well. So as you're listening today, as you're working out, as you're driving your car, as you're commuting, we're going to continue this conversation about the ADKAR model, right? Wanting change versus wanting comfort, right? So we're going to continue on in talking about how I'm going to lead my life before I lead anything else. And with this model, just for a short recap, that this is about pro se, which John Hyatt is the author of, which he actually came out with within the 1990s, getting on the scene about 9 years. He went around to 700 organizations, and he really wanted to see how he can help them and how they were actually handling their change management. And so he came up with the ADKAR model. So the last segment, we talked about A, which was the awareness. And so this time, we're going to be talking about the D, right? The big D, right? Which is desire. What's the desire? Where does it come from, right? Desires answers questions. Do I want transformation badly enough to let the old version of me die? Do I want it enough to let the old version of me die? Desire. Desire is the willingness to participate in the change, not just agree with it. I can agree that the trash needs to be taken out, but I don't take it out. I can agree I need a haircut and not go get one. I'm not going to get a haircut, guys. I'm not going to get a haircut this time. I can agree I need to lose weight and not go to the gym, not work out, not move. Instead, I decide to continue in the same behavior, hoping for change. Seriously, why do we even put ourselves through the torture? That's like insanity, right? Insanity is thinking you are going to get some results doing the same thing, but you didn't do it. But you think that you're going to get these magnificent results, but you're doing exactly the same thing. You got to change up some things. You got to change it up. So with that desire, you're going to get some results if you agree with it. And this is where people kind of stall out, right? In this is they want the promotion, but they don't want to submit to authority. They want the marriage, but they don't want to do self-examinations. And they want the wins, but they don't want the discipline. Ooh, that's a bad word to some people. They don't want to discipline themselves. You got to, I literally discipline myself every single day in my devotion, in my faith that I believe in. See, people want to be like, literally, I just saw this morning. And I was like, what? I don't even know how I feel about this, but I'm going to share it with you all because we're doing life together, right? So there was this, I guess, infomercial or whatnot. I think it was on either YouTube or something like that. And they're talking about how you can quickly learn the Bible and how you can learn it by going quicker than someone going through theology school, and how you can get the pastor to quote the scriptures, and how you can, be more impactful in Bible study and study sessions. And so I think all of those things are important. I really do. I really think they're important. But are we doing this because we want to seem like we know the word by this quick response and recall type of learning, other than really just kind of diving deep into the word? So I was like, I don't know how I feel, because really, if you want the win, then you need discipline to get there. So am I going to take time out each and every single day? There's 24 hours in the day. And you mean to tell me that you only want to give God 5 minutes? Come on now. 5 minutes? Come on. 5 minutes? No. So you should be willing, because you want this relationship with the Father. I'm still talking about this little Bible thing, right? That you want to spend more time with him, right? And so that comes from discipline. That's saying, hey, I'm going to set this time aside and I'm going to do this. Don't you set time aside to eat? You set time aside to, take a bath, take a shower. You set time aside to do a lot of things. Go shopping, whatever the case may be, even scroll on your phones. So desire exposes what we truly value. What is it that you're truly valuing? I just left that pause here because I really wanted to know what you're truly valuing. What are you truly valuing? Because in that, it's like, that's the results. Whatever you're valuing, those are the results that you're getting. See, if I desire comfort, right, more than character, I will resist transformation each and every time. If I want comfort, then I'm not going to get to where I need to be at. Many people are aware they need to change, but they don't desire transformation enough to endure the discomfort. Literally, I had the discomfort, right, of wearing heels. People that know me, I'll throw on a pair of sneakers in a minute. But the moment that I got to put some heels on, right, to me, it is discomfort. And that might be something small for some of you, but it's big for me, right, to walk in heels. Desire is dividing the line between intention and action, talk and follow through, apology and repentance. And I brought this up before. Oh, I got caught, so I'm going to apologize, right? We know that behavior when you was younger and you got caught. Your mother told you, hey, don't go outside and play. Then she comes home early. What ends up happening? You get caught. You walk in the door. Oops. She's like, what did I tell you? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I bet you still got it, right? So the repentance is I'm turning from that behavior. Did you go out the next day? Did you go out the next week when you knew that your mother was going to be working longer hours? Probably so. So there was no true repentance there because you kept doing the same behavior. So that's what the desire is like. That's the dividing line right there. True desire demands death to ego. We said it before, you're going to have to die. We have to die to ourselves every single day if we want transformation. Surrender over control. Stop trying to control everything. You're going to have to surrender. You're going to have to surrender to life. You're going to have to surrender sometimes to the discomfort of what needs to happen to get you to where you would like to go. And letting go of those familiar dysfunctions that's around you. Some of us are in some dysfunctional relationships. And I am not talking about the kind of intimacy, man-woman type relationship. There could be some dysfunction in your relationship with your so-called friends who are really not your friends. If you're trying to get somewhere and they're holding you back, or every time you bring up something positive, they bring up something negative, then that is a dysfunction. Or if, you're trying to go someplace, right? And every time you're trying to get somewhere, you got to call and check in. It's a dysfunction. So I'm telling you, you got to let those things go. So here is our leadership failure point when it comes to desire. Untransformed people desire position, but they don't desire the responsibility. You ever know somebody like, at work and like they want the position, they get the position, but then they don't want the responsibility and they try to put the responsibility on you. And you're like, oh, hold up a second. You're the one that wanted this position. What's the problem? Why am I holding all the coins over here and you have none? They want the influence without the accountability. We have a epidemic, I think, in our society right now, but people not want to be held accountable for things. No, you need to be held accountable for. And this is why our divorce rate rise. Oh, you can't ask me no questions. I'm grown. Yes, you are grown, but you need to be held accountable, right? You just can't be going around doing whatever you want to do. And there's the organizations, right? They're fractured. They're breaking down because it starts at the top and then it trickles down, right, to the lowest, person in that agency. And that's where the dysfunction comes from. That's why it's fractured. That's why it's not working. That's why these new ideals and things that we have are not coming to fruition because we are not taking action. And then there's the trust factor. that we don't allow people to truly build a relationship of trust. I literally just ended up in a situation where one of my bosses, right, literally did not give me information that was going to impact me. And I'm sitting there like, how are you not telling me this information that impacts where I'm working at, who I'm working with, but you didn't have enough responsibility and accountability to come and tell me this information, to the point where, of course, if you know me, I'm going to come to you. Let's have a conversation. We never had the conversation. And so this is where we get into the dysfunction of organizations. Someone at the top can't communicate with someone that's below them, right? Because people refuse to die to their old ways of thinking, their old ways of reacting. They're controlling and they're blaming games. Transformation requires desires that says, I'm willing to let go of what I've done. I'm willing to let go of who I've been, even if it costs me. It costs me what I'm glad about, what I made up about myself. Your own will, old habits, wrong environments, negative people. I want us to reflect here. People resist desire because transformation removes excuses. Once changed, you can no longer justify toxic behavior. What am I willing to surrender, even though it's costing me growth? Am I willing to release who I've been to become who I'm actually called to be? And what am I protecting that's preventing my growth? You protecting people? You protecting, secrecy? Those are the things that we need to ask ourselves and we need to have an answer to. So I'm inviting you again to take something that we all love, which is free. FREE, free. This free self-assessment on the ADKAR. And after each session, again, I want you to go and look at it. I want you to look at your numbers. And I don't want you to think like, I'm so weak here. No, it's to bring self-awareness of where you need to start working at. That's basically what this assessment is about. So if you go to www.4mosaic.com and look into our source area, you will find the self-assessment there. Well, we're out of time. I want you to know that leading is teachable. You're getting something free. Remember, you're getting something free. But leading is teachable, okay? And so, again, visit that website at www.4mosaic.com. Until next time, peace. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.